Fortnite LAN setups are finally changing for the first time since the 2019 World Cup, and honestly, it feels like we're witnessing the end of an entire era, because those same Alienware monitors you've seen at every FNCS, every Pro-Am, and basically every major Fortnite event for years, the legendary AW2518HF, the ones that have been burned into our memory from the early days of competitive Fortnite, have officially been retired, gone, and replaced with something completely new, something that actually feels like the next step forward, the Zoe XL2566X Plus, which is now officially the monitor of the Fortnite Global Championship 2025. And this change is massive because for the first time ever, pros can actually play on 360 Hz if they choose to, after being hard-capped at 240 Hz for literal years thanks to those Alienware monitors that were first released way back in 2017. And while those old Alienware monitors had their moment and no one can deny how iconic they were, the truth is, time has caught up with them. And this new Zoe display isn't just a small bump or marketing gimmick. It's a real generational leap in every way because not only can it go all the way up to 400 Hz, but it also comes packed with Zoe's new Diac 2 motion clarity technology, which, to put it simply, makes every single frame look sharper, smoother, and cleaner. Even during insane Fortnite build fights, when everything on screen is moving at once, and if you've ever seen Zoe's before and after comparisons, you'll instantly see how much crisper motion looks when Diac 2 is turned on. It's almost like going from standard definition to high definition in terms of how your eyes perceive motion. But the real question that everyone's been asking is, why did Fortnite finally decide to make this upgrade after so many years of running the same outdated equipment? And to answer that, you have to go all the way back to 2019, when the Fortnite World Cup was first announced. Back then, that 240 Hz Alienware panel was cutting edge. It had great color accuracy, decent response times, and honestly, at the time, nothing could really compete. It was the standard in esports. But as years passed and technology evolved, other games like Valorant, CS2, and Apex started updating their LAN setups, moving to monitors that supported 360 Hz and higher, while Fortnite kind of stayed stuck in 2017 using the exact same displays year after year, and the problem with that is that competitive Fortnite has changed drastically since then. Players have gotten faster, the mechanics have evolved, and the game's overall pace is way beyond what it was during the World Cup, so using the same monitor from back then just doesn't make sense anymore. And the thing is, Epic couldn't just go for any flashy OLED monitor either, because while OLED looks incredible for colors and contrast, it's not built for esports. It's expensive, it doesn't come in the small 24 or 25-inch sizes pros prefer, and it also doesn't hit those crazy high refresh rates. So when you rule that out, it really only leaves two types of panels, IPS and TN. IPS panels look beautiful. They've got richer colors and better viewing angles, but TN panels, which Zoe is known for, have one major advantage: raw speed and motion clarity. And that's what matters most when you're trying to track an enemy building across your screen in a split second. So with motion clarity being the absolute priority, I think Fortnite made the best decision they've made in years by finally switching to Zoe, a brand trusted by some of the best players in the world. And if you've watched other esports, you'll know that Zoe monitors have basically been the gold standard for competitive gaming for a long time now. Even peterbot, who's widely considered the best player in Fortnite right now, has always used a Zoe monitor at home, even when he was forced to play on Alienware setups during LANs. So now it finally feels like the LAN environment is catching up to what pros actually use in their daily practice. And that level of consistency is huge because any competitive player knows that switching between monitors with different response times and refresh rates can completely throw off your muscle memory. So not only does this upgrade improve performance, it also builds a bridge between home setups and LAN environments, making everything feel more natural for the players. But then another question comes up. Can these LAN PCs actually handle Fortnite at 360 Hz? Because it's one thing to have a monitor that can run it, but it's another thing entirely to maintain those frames consistently in a real game. If you think back to the most recent FNCS Global Championship and the Pro-Am event, Epic was using Falcon Northwest Fragbox systems with Intel i7 17700K CPUs and RTX 4080 GPUs. And while those specs sound great on paper, anyone who's actually played performance mode in those super stacked endgames knows that maintaining a perfect 360 FPS with dozens of builds, edits, and effects happening at once is basically impossible. So realistically, I think most pros will still lock their refresh rate to 240 Hz just to keep things stable and consistent, which honestly isn't a bad thing. Because even if they're playing at 240, they'll still get the benefit of that insane motion clarity from Diac 2, and that's something that's going to make the entire experience feel smoother and more responsive overall. But the cool thing is that the potential for 360 or even 400 Hz gaming is now officially here, and once Epic upgrades their LAN, PCs in the future, maybe with newer Intel 15th Gen CPUs or NVIDIA 5090 GPUs, we might finally see a Fortnite LAN where players are actually able to play at the full 360 Hz the monitor is capable of, which would be a huge milestone for the game. But regardless of that, what this change really represents is Fortnite finally catching up to modern esports standards. For years, people have criticized Epic for falling behind when it came to competitive infrastructure. But now they're showing that they actually care about giving players the best possible experience. And honestly, this kind of change makes a massive difference for pros, especially when you consider that Fortnite is one of the most mechanically demanding games out there. Every edit, every piece placement, every movement relies on timing that's accurate down to the millisecond. And having that extra clarity and refresh rate can be the difference between clutching up or losing a fight. And beyond the technical side, this upgrade also brings a sense of pride and progression to the scene. Like it feels like Fortnite is taking its competitive side more seriously again, treating its players like true professionals instead of just content creators. And it's kind of poetic too, because the old Alienware monitors were a symbol of Fortnite's early glory days. They were there during the World Cup, during the peak of its fame, during the moment when the whole world was watching. But now we're entering a new chapter, one where the game's competitive scene has matured, where players have evolved, and where the technology finally matches the level of skill these pros have reached. No more outdated 2017 monitors, no more slow refresh rates. From now on, every FNCS LAN will be powered by Zoe's cutting-edge 400 Hz displays with Diac 2 technology at the heart of it all. And that's something worth celebrating, because it shows that Fortnite is no longer behind the curve. It's finally standing alongside other top-tier esports, delivering the kind of competitive experience players have been asking for years. And honestly, as someone who's followed this game for a long time, seeing Fortnite finally step up like this feels refreshing, it's exciting, and it gives me hope that this is just the beginning of more improvements to come, maybe new peripherals, better stage setups, or even upgraded PCs in future events. Who knows? But what's clear is that Fortnite's LAN scene has evolved. It's modern now, it's fast, it's clean, and it's finally ready to match the intensity and precision of the players who make it great. So, yeah, goodbye Alienware, goodbye outdated 240 Hz panels, and hello to a new era of Fortnite esports powered by Zoe's 400 Hz future. It's been a long time coming, but honestly, it's about time Fortnite finally caught up to where it always should have been.